Hey there, welcome back friends. In this video we will talk about microservices. Microservices is the modern approach of application development and this is the way to go. So let's discuss about microservices. Alright, so first of all, to start with, how usually we develop application. Applications are developed using the monolithic approach as of now, where everything is in one place. We deploy the application into a single web server and the deployment is on a single system. As a result, there could be issues. Now what are the issues is something which we will discuss. Alright, so as of now, when we have only a single application, there will be a high level of interdependency, right? So for example, class A calls class B calls class C, and there could be a high level of interdependency. There is no categorization of stuff, right? So this could be very tedious. Now moving forward, there could be a solution for reducing the complexity, reducing the dependency, and that could be the modular approach. For example, we create packages, we create modules in our application, and there could be like inter-module communication and outer-module communication. But still, all of the modules are inside the same application and we deploy the application on the web server or on the local server. This approach is a better approach where we create modules, where we create packages, but still all of these stuff is part of a single application and we deploy it in a single machine. As a result, it could be little tedious to scale these kind of application and it could be little tedious to load balance. So take a note of it. We will discuss more about this thing in just a minute. Alright, now moving forward, for example, a user uses a application. For the user, the web browser or the interface of the application is the application. The user doesn't know how the application works internally. As a result, it doesn't matter for the user whether we are making use of modular approach, whether we are not categorizing stuff properly, or it is based on microservices. For user, it is just an application. Alright, now friends, for example, there is a code update in one of the module in our entire application. What would be the outcome? We need to test the functionality based on that module. Moreover, we have to also test functionality of other modules which are based on the module. As a result, in order to update a monolithic application, we have to test it thoroughly in order to release updates. The reason why we have to test a monolithic application properly, the reason is very simple. The reason is dependency. When it comes to monolithic application, there is a high level of dependency when compared to microservices. Alright, and definitely the obvious disadvantages also, monolithic application are difficult to load balance. Monolithic application is difficult to manage, difficult to update, difficult to scale. Alright, now let us quickly discuss about the disadvantage. First disadvantage is monolithic applications are difficult to maintain. Lack of scalability. We can scale microservices based application further and further. There is no issue. But when it comes to monolithic application, scalability is definitely a issue. Then redeployment the entire application on each update. Yet another issue. As monolithic application is a single piece of code, we have to redeploy the entire application to see the changes, to see the updates. Alright, then the next very important disadvantage is reliability. There is an issue of reliability because when we update a specific part of the application, it may break some other part in the application. As a result, it is kind of little unreliable, unpredictable when it comes to working with monolithic application. And finally, it is a little difficult to adopt new technologies when we develop an application using the monolithic approach. Alright, now moving forward, let us discuss about microservices. What exactly is a microservices? Normally, microservices are web-based application or a network-based application where the communication is based on network. And we also have the distributed deployment. We can divide the application into small little microservices and deploy every microservices in different deployment environment, and we simply use these small little apps, and the intercommunication is based on the network. Very simple. Alright, so now let's discuss about microservices. For example, we have this monolithic application. We can divide this monolithic application into 4 microservices, namely app 1, app 2, app 3 and app 4, and the communication will be based on the network, and these apps will be deployed into different system. The intercommunication will be held, and for the user will be using only one single application. For the user, how the application is working is something the user will not bother. The user will not understand how application is working. For the user, application will work as it is, but in the background there would be small microservices which will be working with each other. Now friends, the internal communication between these microservices are done on the network, and how to create microservices, how the communication will take place, and all those kind of stuff is something which we will discuss. As of now, we need not to worry about the internal communication stuff. As of now, let us quickly check the advantages of the microservices architecture. Alright, so first of all, complexity get reduced by decomposition. So we can create microservices, and the microservices are independent. So for example, team A works on microservice A, team B works on microservice B, and so on and so forth. As a result, as we divide stuff and we conquer the complexity definitely get reduced because there is a decomposition. We decompose, we distribute, we categorize the work, and the team focuses on only one category, only one microservice. As a result, complexity is much reduced when compared with monolithic application. Then microservices to be developed independently. As I have already specified, microservices can be developed independently, and microservices can be worked by an independent team. As a result, microservices can be developed independently. Microservices can be developed using any technology. This is definitely a very important advantage. Now, it doesn't matter which technology is used to develop the microservice. May it be any technology. For example, there is a microservice with the name A. There is a yet another microservice with the name B. Now A microservice is developed using Java, but B microservice is developed using .NET. But still, these two microservices would be able to communicate with each other, will be able to work with each other. So when it comes to microservices, any technology can be used in the application infrastructure, which is nice, which is cool. As a result, it reduces the barrier of adopting new technology. We can use any technology in our entire application for developing different microservices, right? So this is cool. Now each microservice to be deployed independently. As a result, we can deploy a new microservice, we can restart a microservice. We need not to worry about restarting or redeploying the entire application. So yet another advantage where each microservice needs to be deployed independently. Alright, so these were couple of advantages, and based on these all advantages, we can say that microservice based application can be scaled independently, and microservice based architecture is more scalable infrastructure. Alright, so that's it for today. I suppose you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.